Now let's go into this. So I've created a series of sheets in Illustrator that did, but let's just go into how we first get started. So I'm just going to create a new sheet, 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to start placing those images in here. So those three, when I start, I will just click through them so they all come in at the original size, and then I'll shrink them down to whatever I think is more appropriate, so that they're complete perfect registry. You can also use the alignment tool, but if you're just kind of clicking and dragging, you often won't get them to be the exact same size, so that just helps. Now you'll notice that in this original set of diagrams I made a lot of things kind of transparent that weren't important. They're more background information. So I'm going to go into that, how I do that. What I often do, because I want to control it all probably very similarly and consistently, I'll create a layer that's just about transparency. So just create a new layer. I'll call it actually transparent. I'll move those things to the transparent layer, and then I'll just grab that transparent layer and I'll make the whatever I need. Now it is possible to then click on individual layer, and you'll see that it's showing a transparency level of 100%. So I can reduce even further. I can't make it more opaque. I can make it more transparent though, if for whatever reason I decide that a certain layer needs to go even further down. But for the most part, I want them all to kind of show up the same, so I'm just gonna keep it that. Alright, so that's a good start. Now the other thing that I'm going to do is add in some arrows that are kind of showing the motions of the movement. So I've already set them up in a specific layer, and you can see that those are actual curve geometries. They have an arrowhead. I ended up not using the arrowhead. I was going to see if I could save this just directly from Rhino, but I found that it was kind of hard to get that arrow to be exactly the right size that I want it to be. So I decided just to save that geometry. You can see I went back, because I've been panning around, I went back to the storage view. I'm just going to save that geometry and export it as an Illustrator file. And one that, I don't know if this is in the Rhino 5, but that's really nice to bring in all hatches as solid fills. So there's, that's another reason to get to the work in progress. Alright, so in Illustrator, now I have to actually open that file. I can't just place it because it was created in Illustrator, or in Rhino, and Illustrator didn't like it. So I'm just going to grab that geometry, paste it into here. Pretty close to exactly the right size, which is insane. I'm not sure how that happened, but okay. Now there's nothing kind of new here. I'm going to, you can see I'm already having trouble with that. See, it's on that layer, so I'm going to just go create a new layer called notes. Go ahead and slide it above transparent, grab these two things, move it up. Alright. going to go ahead and give them a dash and let there be an arrowhead. Okay, that one's the wrong position, so I'm just going to go up to Object and reverse path direction. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and give it a pop color. So, create a new swatch, make sure it's global, and go ahead and add that. One of the other things I'll do is I often will just get rid of the unused swatches. I find them to be annoying to have all these options when really I just wanted one. Alright, that's cool. Just make sure that's working. Swatches, if I go ahead and edit this, decide that I really wanted orange, changed, so that's good. Okay, so that's, you know, kind of the basics for how I go from Rhino to Illustrator. One thing I also, just another plug for the whip, is if you decide you want to create really perfect line drawings, the Make 2D is a lot cleaner, and the whip, it also has an extra scene silhouette, so it'll actually create a silhouette line. You can see that this gets a little fatter when I have scene silhouette on, and so and I've found that the geometry that is created from it is a lot cleaner. So that was what it created from this. Pretty good. This geometry was a mesh, so it didn't do very good on the cup itself. But the rest of the geometry is looking really great. I went to print display because I think it automatically creates a series of layers that have a little bit of line weight associated with them. So silhouette actually has a 0.5, so just to amp that up so you can see kind of what it's doing, I'll do that. It's pretty good. Alright.